So let me introduce everybody. It's Jeff Smith. You heard me. Well, you can introduce yourself, but we thank you first off for coming through,
thank
man.
you for coming on.
Hollering at us.
No doubt.
Yeah, giving us your testimony, your wisdom. You heard me. So go ahead, let everybody know who you are.
So my name is Jeff Smith. I am a youth, young adults pastor. I'm a motivational speaker. Do life coaching. Also going to school. I'm actually going to school right now, studying to do marriage family therapy. I'm hoping that I can finish strong and eventually at some point get my PhD. So.
Well, yeah, I mean, I like to, backtrack. The reason that we asked Jeff to come on is because I was going through Twitter one day and I seen this guy talking, trying to motivate people. And I was like, something just told me, why don't we try to get him on for an episode, so he can, motivate some of y'all out there and, inspire y'all. So, I reached out. I to tell you the truth, I was like, he probably ain't gonna reply. Because I'm like, he don't know us from nothing, from nobody else. I'm like, oh, he ain't gonna reply when I send this message. But I'm like, I just gotta try. I said, I just gotta try to get him on. I like the message that you were sharing. So I was like, man, it'd be cool if he come on the platform and share with the audience that we have.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I was going through y'all Twitter, man, and I was like, oh, these guys is out here killing. It's funny, like, you guys remind me of like a better version of what Joe Budden is doing.
Now that's an honor because Joe Budden at the top of the food chain.
Yeah, like you guys remind me a lot of like, but like a healthier version.
Well, yeah. Well, now we took a break for a long time. After we hit 100 episodes, that was
I feel you.
That was the whole goal, and then once we figured out about Zoom, we were like, why don't we use this platform to share with other people, get their stuff out there. Help them spread whatever they're doing and, spread their knowledge. So, that's why I'm like, man, let's just try to get some people on here.
That's what's up.
I guess.
Question. Where are y'all from? Where are y'all from?
I'm from Arkansas, but I'm up in Seattle now.
Okay.
Yeah. Same here. I'm in Seattle, but I'm from New Orleans.
Okay, yeah, because my man said, you heard me? I said, oh, you remind you remind me of Juvenile. Like, I was like,
ooh. Well, I appreciate that to still have that, you heard me?
I said, oh, yeah, that is from the South for sure.
So all
bless
this time,
my soul.
I thought you was over on the East Coast. So I was like, how am I going to set this up to have him on? He always on the East Coast. It wasn't until you said you was in Cali. I'm like, this make it so much better.
But I did always tell people if I didn't grow up in California, I would have wanted to have grown up in New York. I used to always say that. I always wanted to grow up, like I always said, especially after watching Crooklyn.
Oh.
After watching Crooklyn, I was like, bro, like I would have loved to grow up in that time and era in Brooklyn, Harlem, Queens, and then Paid in Full came out and it was lights out for me in high school.
So. Wait, Paid in Full made you want to move over there?
Bro. Like it wasn't what they were doing. I don't know, man. It was something about just the way they got down, man, the way they did things, the atmosphere. Like I'm a go-getter, so I'm go. So that kind of just lined up with what I was like in my mind. I was like, oh, bruh. But I never moved there. But I always used to say, like, if I didn't grow up in California, I would have loved to have grown up in New York.
Yeah, that makes sense. I always thought about growing up in Cali, from the sunshine. It's just the sunshine. It's like everybody want to move to Cali.
Yeah.
Whether it be Northern Cali or Southern Cali, like you just want to be in Cali just to say you're from California.
Oh yeah, I mean, I will say this: like Cali is different. We are our own entity, but even in this, it's interesting because even though people are from Cali, everybody's mentality is different. Like, so where I stay at, I'm about 45 to maybe 50 minutes away from LA, Our mentality from people in LA is completely different.
Oh,
like it's like the way our thought processes and stuff. It's night and day. Like it's almost like we breathe different air. It's interesting.
are you talking about like the people who were born and raised in LA, or the people who migrated to LA?
People are born and raised in LA. Like if you're born and raised in LA, to compare to the ice. So like this shirt, this is my brother's shirt. This says Lost Empire, because he was born in LA, but he was raised in the Inland Empire. So it made like the way he thinks, his go mentality is LA, but is more laid back and not as aggressive as LA is from the Inland Empire. Like that, it's an interesting thing, man. Like the way we move is just different.
Nice. Well,
that's pretty cool right there.
All right, so let's go and get into some questions. Hey. Mr. Jeff, what made you want to become a motivational speaker?
So I played sports growing up. I was always either like captain, co-captain, or some type of leader on the team. And I always was the guy, but regardless, I was always a guy that had our team at a 10. You know, of course, I was a Laker fan since out the womb, but like my era was the Kobe Shaq era. And so fun fact about me, I used to play soccer, right? So because I love the Lakers so much, before games, Kobe and Shaq, they used to have this thing where they would get in a circle and they'd be like, y'all gonna make me lose my mind up in here. And they used to jump up and down.
Yeah.
And I used to make all of my soccer teammates do that. And I enjoyed always even if we could have been down like 5-0, but I always had the mindset like until we see the double zeros, we gonna go hard in the paint. We gonna make you feel us. And I just always enjoyed like keeping my people at a high. And then, you know, I got saved when I was like 22, 23-ish. And then eventually I became a pastor. But even as a pastor, I loved going to the schools. Like being in the church was cool. Like I loved being in the church, but I loved being in the schools. I loved being on the campus and like talking to kids and their friends, introducing me to them as like their pastor or whatever. Like I wear J's, you know, fitted jeans and you know, fitted hats and stuff. And so they're like, that's your pastor? And just being able to be on campus and motivate them. And then I ran into Eric Thomas, and it was lights. So I ran into one of his videos in 2012. Yeah, 2011. I ran into one of his videos on YouTube. So I started following him. And then as I started following him, I just, for whatever reason, I just was intrigued and obsessed with. I was listening to everything he had to say. In 2015, I met him. I actually drove out to Arizona with my brother, and I just had it set in my heart that I was like, that's gonna be my mentor. Like that's gonna be my mentor. And his right hand man, CJ, I ran into him because I was like, if I'm going to Arizona, I'm paying for the full package. I'm paying for the VIP, everything. And I ran into CJ, and CJ just put me on game, and he introduced me to this dude, Kendall. And Kendall was like, motivational speaking is a part of your journey, but being in ministry and having your own ministry is your calling. And like that was something for me that just kind of like shaped how I did things. So, you know, motivational speaking is the thing that I know is what opens up the gate in the conversation for me to preach the truth and give people the truth. Because my motivation, I can give somebody motivation. I'm like, oh my God, like that was bars. And I'm like, bro, that was Ephesians 5.
So I got a question. So the Eric Thomas video that you seen, is it about the one about the guy who wanted water?
Wanted to succeed as bad as he wanted to breathe.
Yeah. I seen. I used to watch that one in the morning.
I like that one.
ACL surgery. I used to watch. That used to motivate me to go work out and stuff. So
now my new favorite video, even still to this day, and this was like 4 years ago. It was UOU. Like that's my go-to now. If you have not seen that, watch that as soon as we're done. It'll wreck your life. You owe you.
Is that by Eric too?
Owe you.
You owe you. So like you.
Okay.
OWE. You. You owe you. Yep. Like, and he's in New Zealand.
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah.
Now y'all listen to what he just telling y'all. Now y'all sit there and write that down. Yeah. He shared some stuff with y'all.
Right there. I'm gonna write it down for y'all.
Like whenever I feel like, oh man, I can't accomplish it, I just put on you owe you, and I'm like, you know what, you tripping, bro. Go ahead and make that happen. Stop playing.
Is it hard? You know, since you know the motivational speaker now, is it hard to make people believe in themselves?
The process of like believing in yourself, I don't think that's the hard part. It's the like, because I think people believe in themselves. I think it's sometimes people believe that I can only accomplish certain things to my capability, not realizing like sometimes all it takes is a little bit of effort and research. So it's more so believing more in the process than believing in you. Does that make sense? So like I've met people that are like, man, I know I have the capability, but I don't have direction. Some people just need direction. Most people actually just need direction. Because a lot of times people have visions, goals, and dreams, but what stops them is that they just don't have any direction or guidance. And I think the truth is it's not about motivation. It's about discipline. Most people just don't have discipline.
Yeah. You got that.
You know what I'm saying? Because and I'm sure you, especially like if you guys have played any sports, I know that I've met people who are way more gifted and talented that I've seen the people that are in the NFL, in the MLB, and the NBA that I've grown up with. And I'm like, bruh, why are you not in the league?
Yeah.
But then I get around them, I'm like, bro, you ain't got no discipline.
Yeah.
So it's not so much the motivation aspect. It's about clicking into your discipline. Like what habits and behaviors do you have to help you be more disciplined? Because there's a lot of times I don't want to make videos, but I'm more disciplined because if I don't make the video, I feel like I'm not accomplishing what I'm called to do.
That's pretty impressive. I see. Do you record every day?
Every day.
I see. I'm like, damn. Like
every day.
Record every time I look up, he putting up a video.
Every day. I used to not be that. I used to just be like once a week, 2 to 3 times a week. But I mean, it's like we ain't got nothing but time now. So I mean, at this point, I'm like, I'm about to be posting every day. I'm about to just put content up after content. You know, that I believe it was Les Brown said one of the richest places in the world is a gravesite. And that's because most people die with their dreams. They die with their visions and their goals because they never put it out there because they were too afraid to put it out there because they were afraid about what people think and may say. And so I said, I want to die empty. I don't want to die with my pockets full.
That makes a lot of sense. That's how did you become comfortable?
That was a bar. I ain't gonna lie.
Like, you know, were you always comfortable in front of the camera, or did you have to work on that?
That's, you know what's interesting? I was very comfortable in front of people. I was never comfortable in front of a camera because you don't have anybody to feed off of. Yeah. So most speakers feed off of people. They feed off of the energy of the people, especially motivational speakers. Like if you get a come on, yup, are you boy? All right. Like when you get that, like you be like, okay, we in that pocket, so we making moves. But it was bouncing. Yeah. So it was when I got with Kendall was like, all right, I need you every day. You're gonna tell your story for 10 minutes on your phone. I don't care what kind of phone you had. At that time I had a Galaxy 4S. He was like we gonna pray that one day you gonna upgrade to the iPhone. But until then, so he just kept hounding me, but he was like, you're gonna learn how to tell your story. You know what I'm saying? And so it was difficult, man, because I would tell my story in like 4.5 minutes. He said, no, I need you to do it in 10. I need you to take me on a journey in your life. And I was like, how do I even do that? He said, practice. And he said, because people don't care about like what you say. They care because unless you can tell them how you got out. And so that was where I had to really, really learn my story. And I did it for, I want to say maybe like 4 or 5 months. Every day I would sit there and tell my story into the camera until finally I just got comfortable in front of the cameraman. And then, and even sometimes still, like I get awkward because I can hear myself. And I'm like, what? Why would you even rewind? Let's do that again. Like, like what? Like that doesn't even make sense, but that's not even proper grammar. Like, what are you doing, bro? So, you know, and then having a wife who is super intelligent. When she's behind the camera, she'll stop. No, that don't even make sense. Why would you even say that? Come on, babe. Like, I'm like, dang. All right. So it makes it a lot harder sometimes. But you can put me in front of any camera now, and I can go in. But it took a minute. Don't get it twisted. It was a while.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. See, I was wondering, like, he just do it so natural. I'm like, he must have been practicing, or like he must like being on the camera.
No. It's it was practice for sure. It was practice for sure.
Yeah. Jared, you got a question for him?
I do. I mean, he did that so well. He took a couple of them. You didn't have to ask him. Now, I do have a question. You were saying the process is to, like, when you're telling your story, not to do it in 4 minutes, but, you know, in story form. Would you say you can relate that to, like, music, like great music?
Oh, bro, like, so first of all, like, I'm a super hip-hop head, right? So because I'm a super hip-hop head, like, that for me, so I always wanted to be a rapper, too. I can't rap. Like, that was never my thing. So I just couldn't rap. But I loved Jay. Like, so when Jay would hit you with like the coldest bars, it would make you feel some type of way, right? I loved Nas. I loved, you know, Tribe Called Quest, Talib Kweli, Mos Def. Like, those were my guys, and those are all storytellers. But even so, when I listen to music, like, I'm listening to, like, why did you even say that? Like, did you take me on a journey at all, or are we just out here, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, if that's all I'm doing, cool. Like, that's your thing.
Yeah.
But for me, like, I even look at it as like the reason why Jesus always told stories in parable forms is because he even said, like, the Bible should be meant for even a toddler to understand. And the best way for people to understand is through stories. And the best way people can connect is through stories. The best way, like the greatest storytellers, the greatest motivational speakers, the greatest pastors, to me, like, that's why people love TD Jakes so much. They be like, man, I feel like that rock. Come on, somebody. Like, because he takes you on that journey of why Moses used that rock. And so I think for me, the question that you asked is like, yes, absolutely. The great music comes from great stories. When you look at Adele, when her first album came from heartbreak.
Man.
Her first album, she had been working on that album, I believe, for like a year already, and then finds out that her fiance breaks up with her, and then gets engaged and married to somebody months later, and she's like, so her heart is completely broken, and as her heart is broken, then that's when you get 6 Grammys. Ooh. Why? Because she can now tell the story, and like everything from brokenness is where success comes from. And so when you're thinking of stories and music and R&B, and the greatest songs are all great stories.
That make a lot of sense. That make a lot. So,
you know what?
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I have I actually have I know someone that has a song that might actually be good. Motivational wise, especially for the kids. I'll send you the link, you know, once we finish with the interview.
Yes, sir.
But I think you'll enjoy it.
Yes, sir. Send that, please.
So, I gotta ask, if somebody wanted to become a motivational speaker, you know, like yourself, what advice would you give them?
First thing would be intent. Is this about you, or is this about having influence? Because a lot of times people, they see the motivational speaking and they see the traveling, they see, hundreds and thousands of people in front of you and the highlights, but they don't see the hours upon hours of prayer. They don't see the hours and hours upon studying, the constant criticism and critique. So the first thing that I ask is that, what is your original intent? Because if you're only doing it just so you can be seen, just so you can hear yourself speak, you'll burn out super fast. You'll burn out within 6 months to a year, because you're gonna be like, I'm not getting the accolades and the affirmation that I'm looking for. The second thing I would ask that person is what's your story? Can you tell your story? The third thing is I would ask that person are you healed from your past? Because you can't tell somebody how to get through something if you're still dealing with it. And so, like, I would definitely tell that person, like, so what, like, are you healed of that process? Are you going through a healing process, or are you just like, I'm doing this out of rebellion? Because I mean, let's be honest, there's a lot of churches that are built, and the only reason why they're built is because they felt church hurt. So I'm about to start my own, or I'm about to start my own business because I was hurt and burned by my last business. Never build off of hurt, build off of call. That's a huge thing, because like, you're like, once your hurt is gone, you're gonna be like, okay, do I still want to do this? Am I really supposed to be? And so you got to ask yourself, am I really called to do this? Because sometimes we look at it from a perspective of, it's like, I want to be on the stage, I don't want to tell my story. Sometimes you don't need a stage, you just need somebody to talk to. And sometimes it's not about you being on a stage. Sometimes you just need a small group. Sometimes you maybe just need to be a life coach. Maybe you need to be a counselor. And so there's a lot of different ways to motivate people and not have to be on a stage. So the greatest thing that I would say is, like, what is your intent? Are you healed? Can you tell your story? And I think lastly is what does your circle look like? Like, what does your circle of friends look like? Are they always going to gas you? Or does your circle of friends, are they going to tell you that you're whack? Like, because there was one time I had posted something. This was probably mid last year. I had posted something, and we have a group that, it's me, my boy Larry, my boy Jeff Osborne, who hands down is probably one of the greatest communicators that I know personally. You guys should reach out to him too. That dude's story is on a whole nother level.
What's it, Jeff? What's his name? Jeff what?
Jeff Osborne. Jeff Osborne. You guys can find him on my page.
Gotcha.
And I'll actually send you to him too. And then their wives. And so we're together. But anyways, like, so I had posted something and it was funny. Simultaneously, they both text me and they were like, bro, take that down. But they didn't plan it. They just both text me, like, they're like, bro, take that down. And I was like, why? They was like, bro, that is not your best work. Take that down. They're like, that is weak. Like, that we can tell you just threw that together because you just wanted to post something. And I was like, what? I was like, nah, bro. And I was like, how much time did you put into that? How much effort was that? Like, did it? And I was like, they was like, take it down, bro. Like, they were like, you're so much better than that. We're not gonna let you go out like that. That was. And then my boy Hop was like, Larry, he was like, yo, like, that was trash, bro. I was like, okay. Like, but we have that relationship where we're like, I would much rather you hurt me with the truth than to kiss me with toxicity. And so that is our saying, that is our mantra. And so that's where, for us, he was like being real. And then my boy Larry, he does music. If he drops something hot, we promote it. If it's trash, or he normally asks us first before he puts it out. I'm like, nah, bro, like, you're better than that. That was weak. And so that's like, what does your circle look like? Do you just have a whole bunch of yes men, or do you have people who really ride for you? And if they really ride for you, they're going to tell you the truth, and they're going to let you know this is probably not what you need to be doing, or, you know what, I believe that you can. So yeah, that would be my advice for anybody that wants to be a motivational speaker.
So,
man.
So let me get this.
That's
so you a pastor, motivational speaker, and you the head of a nonprofit?
I'm not the head. I'm a part of my boy Jose Rodriguez. He is the founder and the creator of Rescue a Generation. I was the second person that he was just like, hey, bro, like, this is what I'm doing. I would love for you to be a part. And so it's me, him, and my boy, Brandon. All great communicators. Y'all can reach out to them too. Great communicators.
How do you juggle doing so much?
Being a slave to my calendar.
Oh,
so a lot of times, like, we think we don't have enough time in a day, but in reality, it's just like we're not responsible in our day. A lot of times, like, we trick off time. So, like, I have a set time, and then I know how to say no. Like, nah, I can't do that. Like, I've told Jose many times, he's like, hey, bro, can you do this assembly with me at the school? And I'm like, nah, bro, because I got to be here at the church. Or nah, bro, I can't because I'm doing this with my wife. Or sometimes I'm just like, no, because no. Like, that, like, I got to spend time at home. No. And I have to honor the calendar and what I said I was going to do. And so if you're trying to be an entrepreneur, if you're trying to be a CEO, you got to be a slave to the calendar, and you got to know how to be okay with no's. Even if some point in time maybe you say no, you're like, dang it, I probably should have went. It is what it is. That comes with the territory. You're not gonna be able to make everything, but you got to know how to just be wise in your day. For me, on Sundays, so tomorrow after I teach to my students and all of that other stuff, I go on to my calendar, and Monday through Friday, what am I supposed to do from this time to this time? Whether it's studying, whether it's spending time with my kids, doing homework with my kids, spending time with my wife, doing a sermon prep, doing a motivational speech prep, whatever that is aligned in my days. And once I'm done, I even schedule off, okay, from this time to this time, that's me time. That's the time where I don't care whether it's watching TV, Netflix, being on the gram, whatever, for an hour. That's my trick off time. And I'm a slave to that so I keep myself on track.
Hey. Oh, see, I got to get better with using my calendar.
And I mean, you also leave room for curves. Leave room for curve too. So
Dude, sometimes I forget what day it is.
Listen, you ain't the only one, bro. You ain't I used to be getting up at like 4:30. I've been now getting up at like 7, 8. So yeah, it's different.
So with your church, is it hard right now, with everything going on, being a pastor? Because a lot of people are gonna lean on you more now than they would have in the past.
Sure.
Yeah,
I think the hardest thing is because people want community, people thrive in community, and we die in seclusion. And so, like, the hardest thing is not being able to be with my parents, to be with my students, seeing my students every day. Like, I've talked to teachers and they're having a difficult time being on Zoom calls and IG lives with their students because the students aren't getting up. And, or they'll forget. And I'm like, how do you forget? You ain't doing nothing. But they're doing, they're on TikTok all day, like doing you know what I'm saying? Like, they out here, like, you know what I'm saying? So, like, they're doing that all day. And then, you're supposed to be on a Zoom call with your pastor, your teacher, or whoever at 1:00. You mess around and been on TikTok, it's 3:30. You're like, oh shoot, I'll just do it tomorrow. So it's more so of like the connection with my students that makes it difficult. But what we've been trying to do is I've been sending out text messages. I DM them. I follow all of my students, not all of them, a good majority of my students on like TikTok, Instagram, Twitter. And so, like, I'm trying to stay in contact with them as much as I can, letting them know I'm thinking about them. I'm praying for them if they need any help or advice. I'm here. I do random IG lives late at night because I know they're up. They're up until like 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, which is insane.
4 or 5 in the morning,
bruh.
How old are you?
Bruh, bruh.
Make the 10 o'clock. Oh,
bruh, I'm trying to tell you.
That's why they can't get up.
Exactly.
Getting up at
exactly.
3:30, man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that
Like,
poor drink.
so the average so far, because I have roughly, in my ministry now, I have roughly anywhere between like 35 to 40 students on a consistent Sunday morning, right? And so the average that I've seen when talking to them, I'm like, what time do y'all go to bed? The earliest is like 1 to 1:30 a.m. That's the
How old
early.
are your kids in your ministry? Like they must be
Um,
teenagers.
the youngest is 12.
Okay, yeah, they old.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Oh,
The youngest is 12.
yeah.
There's only one responsible kid that I have, but this kid, he's smarter than most adults that I know. Like, he's into politics, and he reads like 4 books a month.
Mm,
He has his own blog. He's
mm.
14, has his own stocks. Um,
Huh?
yeah, bro. Like, he's on a
Started early.
You sure he
yeah,
14?
he's 14, bro. But it's like
Oh,
he does the piano, has his own business where he teaches piano lessons. He's super smart kid, good kid. He's in bed no later than 10 o'clock. He's up at like 4. I'm like, bro, you're more disciplined than me.
Hey, what kind
Like,
of 14-year-old
man,
is
that
this?
takes some dip.
That's the type that's gonna be gonna be running
Yeah,
things.
that age.
exactly, bro. Like, has his own political
Uh-huh.
blog. He's a super good kid. Loves God,
Mm,
loves people, and then he loves to like have conversations with me because me and him talk the same lingo. But there's sometimes he says words I'm like, huh? I, I can't even spell that, bro. What you talking about? so, so
oh
yeah,
man.
man. Like, but yeah, the average. He's the only one that's probably in bed the earliest. Everybody else is like 1:30, man, 2 o'clock, 3, 4. So yeah, like that's probably the most difficult thing for us is not being able to be face to face in community, and being able to physically check on them. So now I've said, you know what? Like, I need everybody's address. I'm gonna just start popping up on y'all. I just be and knock on the
Mm,
door like, y'all can stay inside. I got my mask on, but what's good? How y'all living?
was
That's what's
So
up.
that
that'll get them
yeah,
up. Hmm.
We need more people out there that's doing what you're doing. You know,
appreciate
the
that.
world be so much better. You know, we had more motivational speakers and more people who share a lot of wisdom and not just the stuff you see on TV. Is everybody want to be a gangster and all this stuff of
Yeah,
in a gang and how everybody was raised.
Yeah.
Because it took a while for us to realize, as we were doing the podcast that the way we was raised, we
oh
thought it
yeah,
was the right way, but it
oh
was
yeah.
really the wrong way.
Oh, man.
That do as I say,
Yeah.
not as I do era.
Yeah. You going off the
Uh-huh.
stuff that you see. It took me moving away from down south to realize that it's a bigger world out there.
Oh yeah,
I thought that was
It's
it. Like I thought
amazing.
Atlanta and Arkansas, like that area, right? I thought that was it. Like, but
yeah,
when I came out to West
Yep.
Coast, it was like a whole nother world. So,
yeah.
I just
Well, one
Yeah.
well one of the things that I've learned, especially in the Black culture, like I would say more so our era, like the kids who grew up in the '90s, the '80s, and even early 2000s. One of the biggest things that was difficult for us was, like I told me and my dad, we've actually had this conversation. I told my dad, I said, man, your guys' era was so aggressive and had no grace. Like you guys always like you guys were on us like you guys gotta be da, 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 da. And I remember my dad used to have this saying. He was like, you can't don't be letting that white boy outperform you. And I used to be like, what does that even mean? Why can't it just be like that man is outperforming you? Like if he's better than me at it, it don't matter whether he's white, purple, or green. If he better, he better. Like, ain't nothing you can do about that. Like, you could just work as hard as you
You
want,
better,
but
you
if
better
that,
look.
yeah, like if you better,
Uh-huh.
you better. Like, I can't control that he's faster than me or whatever, but it was like that era, they had to deal with segregation and racism and all of the other stuff. And
Yeah.
so they were really, really hard on us, and which I'm grateful for because it caused me to no matter what anything looks like, I can plow through it. but also at the same time, it also made me hard, and it makes it hard, especially for Black men, to even express how they feel to their wives, to their boys, and express their feelings in a healthy way. You know what I'm saying? And so that was something that like, and I love that you said, like, man, like, I didn't realize, like, the way I was raised, it wasn't always right. And then what, like, there were things that, you know, our parents did get right, but there are things that in areas where I was like, man, that's unhealthy. Like, my kids don't do that, so I don't need to be like that. You know what I mean? And so I think I'm a big advocate for Black men and them getting counsel and them getting help, because it's healthy. Like, when you're free of past hurts, man, you don't realize how much more strength you actually have when you're healed of something.
So let me ask you this. So I don't know, like, the background that you grew up in, but, you know, do you think Black people suffer from PTSD from the hood?
Absolutely.
From the hood?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, statistics actually show that, like, black people in general in the hood suffer more from PTSD than somebody that's in the military. That's an actual statistical fact, that we suffer from PTSD a lot more than people who are in the military. Simply because, like, we get so numb to things that are around us, from drug dealing, from seeing drug abuse, from seeing gunshots, from seeing people get killed, from fighting, from like, I had uncles and cousins who would make me fight. Like, it was like, nah, you about to fight? I was like, for what? They don't even want to fight, bro. Like, they're like, nah, that's disrespectful. But we don't even really want to fight. We squash. And so, you know what I'm saying? So it was, you have that aspect, and then like, the statistics of, I think it's like almost 80% of Black homes are single Black homes or divorced Black homes, and so or merged homes. And so you have that, like, that's a difficult thing in itself. Like, a mom who's having to raise a young man by herself, she can't teach the young man how to be a man. She can only give him moral values, but she can't teach him how to be a man. Like, and so you have that aspect. There's so much that goes into just the black, I would say Black and brown family dynamic. But I think more so, like, the Black family suffers the most, just simply because, like, our families suffer the most. And so, yes, I would definitely say the statistics show that, like, we suffer more from PTSD in the hood than any other group.
I used to wonder that. You know, we did a episode on that last season about, you know, do, you know, Blacks suffer from PTSD? You know, because we got to thinking about it, and we were like, some of that stuff that, you know, that go on, some of that stuff not normal.
Yeah. Like, even think about, like, what you got whooped for. Like, there were some whoopings that you probably didn't need. Like, you could have just been like, you know what? Like, you can't do nothing for the next 4 weeks, and you would have been good. But it was like a lot of times, like, we got whooped because they were just angry. They were upset. They were frustrated. We were the straw that broke the camel's back. You know what I'm saying? It was like work stress, marriage stress, or boyfriend whatever stress, girlfriend whatever stress. Then you had whatever other stress that you bills, and then now my kid gonna lie to me. So now I'm about to just whoop the fire out of you. Well, I probably didn't need a whooping. You probably could have just took everything out of my room and I'd have been solid. And so, like, I think, you know, that's where, for me, because I have 2 kids. Like, you guys seen my daughter, she was sitting right here earlier. She's 7, and then my son is 5. My daughter, I don't have to whoop her. Like, I can literally, like, just like how I'm talking to y'all, I can raise an octave, like, yo, like, are you serious? I can talk like that to her. She'll be like, yo, all right, that's for real. And she'll be like, okay, I'm sorry, and it get right to what I need to do. Now, granted, have I had to get her before? Yeah. My son, on the other hand, when he get older, he's probably gonna be the one that's gonna get tagged the most. Like, he just, He a little.
Hey, I'm in that same boat.
Yeah.
I'm in that same boat.
Oh, me here. Me same here. Same here. I already know.
Because he a little bit more daredevilish. So, but at the same time, there's a lot of times where I'm like, okay, do I weigh out the options? Can I have the conversation with him first and see if he changes his behavior, and then if it doesn't work and I see him do it again, then I tag him, or do I tag him off rip? And that's where I have to be more under control, and that's where the healing process had to come from prior to. Like, what does that look like for me? Like, do I have to do that? Not necessarily, because I don't. And then not only just that, I don't want my daughter to ever feel like a man loving you is you hitting you. Like, I want her to know that a loving touch from a man is through guidance, not through abuse.
Yeah.
And so, like, now granted, like I said, there has been a couple of times where I did have to tag her, but like for the majority, I would say 90% of the time, 90, maybe even 95% of the time, it's a rarity. And so, like, I'm the first example of what a husband is supposed to be like to her, from mental, spiritual, emotional, and even physical. So the physical touch, when she asked me like that, like every night, she's like, "Dad, can you cuddle me so I can go to sleep?" Yeah. I'm not gonna say no to her. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, because like then it's like, oh, I don't need my dad. When in reality, like, you do need your father. You need the guidance from your father. And I want her to trust me. And the fact that she trusts me, no matter what it looks like, whenever she has a tooth that she's coming out, she's like, "Daddy, can you take it out?" Why? Because she trusts me. She knows that I'm not gonna hurt her. And so that's what I'm building with her. You know what I'm saying? So like, you don't need to have aggression to show love.
You got one there. You got one there.
I am learning that the older I get. I'm like, you don't need a whipping. Because I talk to the boys 100,000 times. I say, I'm going to be honest with you. If it was my mom or my dad, they would have probably got me the moment I said something after they said something. I said,
absolutely.
I just want you to understand it, so I don't, I shouldn't have to physically harm you, so you can understand it. I said, because why? You can understand it, go to your room, think about it, be like, well, you know what? You're right. I ain't even had to go through all that.
Right.
You're right. Cool. It's more, like you said, it's more healing, and to me, it's more, it's more soothing.
Absolutely. And not only just that, bro, like you're teaching your boys how to communicate clearly. Yeah. Like, when you can't communicate, you threw it throughout aggression, through fighting, through doing mischievous things. The one thing that we've given our kids is a safe space to be able to express yourself, but express yourself with honor and respect. Don't express yourself being disrespectful. Because as soon as you start raising your voice and start like, time out, you're doing too much. You know what I mean? And so that's where we shut that down. Like, nah. But what you will do is, like, you will learn how to we're not ruled by our emotions. We're ruled off of our principles. These are our principles, and this is what we rock with. Actually, I could actually show you guys one of the things that we stand on. Let me take this down. I'll show you guys right now. Hold up. This is what we stand on right here. And it's the Smiths, what we stand on, Galatians 5. Main goal of the day is the fruit of the Spirit. Proverbs 10:4. Laziness is a poverty mentality. Luke 16:10. Small goals manifest big dreams. 4. John 14:6. The day begins and ends with Jesus. 5. Matthew 5:9. Our home is a place of peace, not a place of war. And hold on real quick. And then at the bottom is all of the fruits of the Spirit, which is Galatians 5, love, patience, faithfulness, joy, kindness, gentleness, peace, goodness, and self-control. And so whenever we have those moments, that's when we see, there she go right there. Whenever we have whenever we have those moments, and I see my son or my daughter, they're not acting out in the fruit of the Spirit, we say, hold on. This is what we came up with as a family. This is our goal every day. Like, is this kindness? Are you showing patience? Are you showing goodness? Like, are you showing the fruit of the Spirit? And if not, why? Let's talk about it. Like, I want you to be able to share with us your feelings and your emotions. If you can't do that, then that shows to me that you're being ruled by your emotions and not by our principles. And so that's what we're trying to like build and instill within them.
Oh, that's a good one right there.
I like that.
Well, Jeff,
that's moving on.
I like to thank you for coming on the show.
Oh, for sure, man.
We're gonna have to have you on again to speak more about your nonprofit. You know.
Oh yeah, for sure.
With that, you know,
Give us some more wisdom.
Where would people find more about? Well, I know, but like, do you want to share like your social where people can find out more about you?
Yes, all social media platforms, even TikTok.
That's how he knew that.
I had to, bro. I avoided it for a full year, and then the pandemic happened, and I was like, dang, all my kids is on TikTok, so I got to jump on and connect with them. But all social media platforms is Jeff Smith Speaks. All one. Jeff Smith Speaks. You can follow me on all social media platforms. And yeah, man, like every day, in my bio, I said my entire goal. Get out your nose. What you doing? It's all just digging gold. My main thing is always just teaching people how to succeed one day at a time. And like it's just a 1% 1 day thing. Everybody's like, oh, like you got to give 100% a day. But if you've always given 50% a day, like how you can't go from 50 to 100. You got it's 1 day at a time, 1% a day. Before you know it, you'll be doing 100 a day. So just teaching people how to succeed 1 day at a time, man. Oh,
see, that's golden right there. So we always do a motivational quote at the end of the day.
Okay.
And since you as a big motivational speaker,
okay,
there you go. Got the flow.
A quote that you have that you can share with people.
Cool, man. Let's see. Motivational quote of the day. Okay. So for us, one thing that I would say to anybody and everybody is whenever you go to all of my videos, especially my Where You At Wednesdays, I always say you're loved, you're needed, and you're wanted. One of my favorite quotes is you thrive in community and you die in seclusion. Find your community, and once you find your community of people, they'll always remind you that you're loved, you're needed, and you're wanted, and they'll always direct you back to truth. And the truth is that you're a child of God. So just know that when you're a child of God, you don't have nothing to worry about. You may get frustrated, you may get angry, and just know that anger is okay. It's what you do with the anger that is what matters the most. So you die in seclusion, but you thrive in community. Find a strong community, and I'll always direct you back to truth.
Thank you right there.
See? We like that.
That's what I'm talking
I
about.
like that right there, man.
Because he had one.
Y'all heard what he said.
I'm gonna let JR go and take us on out. But Jeff, once again, thank you for coming on. I appreciate it. We appreciate it.
Appreciate you.
I appreciate y'all, man. Keep killing it, man. This is not the end for y'all. Just keep thriving, stay consistent, man. I'm looking forward to seeing what God has for y'all.
Oh man, we appreciate that, man. Like laying one brick at a time.
Yes, sir.
One brick at a time.
So JR, you want to?
So how we do it I got it. So like we said, man, we appreciate you. And on every episode, you might hear a little fella come rolling up in here with a lot of energy. But after every episode, the outro, we have the guests say our daily outro, which is Cal and J a day. So you gotta go ahead and put the stamp on it.
Got it. So we say Cal and J a day. Ah! Let's go.
Thank you.
Let's go.
Let's go. Appreciate you, Joe, boy.
I appreciate y'all, man. Keep doing your thing.
All right.
Have a good one.